Here's something you've probably never thought about. The sun can dry your clothes for free, perfectly, every time. Yet in parts of America, using that same sunlight can actually get you in trouble. Same planet. Same sun. Completely different rules. No broken laws. No damage done. Just hanging your laundry outside. So why did one of the simplest, oldest habits in human history turn into something people avoid? Because this isn't just about drying clothes. It's about how everyday objects quietly became symbols of status, and rules followed without question. You're walking through a neighborhood in Rome, where life feels almost cinematic. Clothes are stretched between balconies, moving with the wind above narrow stone streets. It's simple, but strangely beautiful. Now picture Mexico City. Rooftops filled with hanging laundry, families using nothing but sunlight and open air to dry their clothes. Then Tokyo, Bangkok, Cape Town, different continents, same everyday habit. It's just normal life almost everywhere. But then you land in a suburb in Ohio, and the contrast hits you instantly. Everything looks controlled, perfect lawns, clean streets, and no clothes outside at all. Not even a single line in sight. And here's the surprising detail many people don't expect: in certain parts of the US, drying clothes outside can actually go against local rules, sometimes even leading to fines. Something so ordinary elsewhere becomes restricted here. So how did a basic human routine turn into something unusual in one place, while the rest of the world never stopped doing it? In many European countries like Italy or Spain, buildings are intentionally designed with outdoor drying spaces because it fits daily life. In Japan, despite advanced technology everywhere, air drying is still widely used. Across Latin America, Africa, and large parts of Asia, it's not even considered a topic, it's just how laundry is done. Because the logic has always been simple: sunlight costs nothing, wind is always available, and clothes dry naturally. Globally, around 3/4 of people still rely on air drying. The United States simply developed a different pattern. So what caused that shift? To understand it, we go back to the late 1940s. World War II has just ended. Millions of soldiers return home, the economy grows fast, and there's an urgent need to build housing on a massive scale. That moment quietly marks the beginning of the modern American suburb, and with it, a slow change in everyday habits that most people never really notice. Developers begin building entire towns from scratch. Not just houses, but entire visions of a new lifestyle. Rows of nearly identical homes appear across the country, sold as the American dream in physical form. A house, a green lawn, a garage, and a very specific idea of modern life. And inside those homes came something new, something that would quietly change daily habits: the electric clothes dryer. Dryers had existed since the 1930s, but for years they were rare and expensive. That changed after World War II, when mass production made them affordable. Big companies like Whirlpool and General Electric didn't just sell appliances, they sold an idea. A modern home meant convenience. Progress meant machines. And the message was subtle but powerful: if you're still using a clothesline, you're stuck in the past. By the 1960s, that idea had spread widely. Dryers became a normal part of American life. But that's only one side of the story. As suburbs expanded, another system grew with them: the homeowners associations, or HOAs. At first, the goal sounded practical: protect property values by keeping neighborhoods consistent and well-maintained. On paper, it made sense. But over time, those rules became more detailed. Appearance started to matter more and more. And slowly, something simple like a clothesline started to stand out. To some, it didn't look modern. It didn't match the clean, uniform image of suburban living. It started to be seen as untidy, even less refined. And step by step, many HOAs began restricting or completely banning outdoor laundry lines. By the 1970s and 80s, these rules had spread across many neighborhoods. Today, tens of millions of Americans live under HOA guidelines, and in some of them, hanging clothes outside is still not allowed at all, even if someone wants to do it. Now think about the cost of that everyday choice. The average household in the US does hundreds of laundry loads every year. A standard dryer uses a noticeable amount of electricity per cycle, and over time that adds up to hundreds of kilowatt-hours annually, reflected directly in monthly power bills. And that's where the story becomes more than just laundry. It becomes about how convenience, image, and rules quietly reshape everyday life. Multiply that across millions of homes in the US, and you end up with an enormous amount of electricity being used every year, for something the sun can do for free. In fact, research suggests dryers take up a noticeable share of residential energy use in America, more than many people realize, even more than some major kitchen appliances. Because of this, a few states have started to push back. Places like Florida, Colorado, Hawaii, and Vermont have introduced right-to-dry laws, making sure homeowners can't be fully blocked from using clotheslines by local rules. And outside the US, the trend is even clearer. In parts of Europe, rising energy costs have quietly brought air drying back into everyday life. In Mexico and many other countries, it never really disappeared in the first place. And that's where the most interesting part of the story appears. America didn't move away from clotheslines because they stopped working. They work just fine. In many cases, clothes actually last longer when they are air-dried, simply because there's less heat and mechanical stress involved. So the real shift wasn't about function. It was about perception. At one point in history, the clothesline slowly became linked with a certain image, old-fashioned, lower status, not quite modern enough. Meanwhile, the electric dryer became something more than just a machine. It became a symbol of progress, comfort, and modern living. And this isn't about right or wrong. Every society makes choices based on its own time, economy, and culture. In some countries, like Mexico, there was never a strong suburban rule system that shaped appearance in the same way, so clotheslines never carried that negative image. In places like Italy or Japan, space, tradition, and daily routine made outdoor drying feel natural, even elegant in its own way. None of these lifestyles is better than the other. A family drying clothes on a balcony in Milan isn't doing anything more correct than someone using a dryer during a freezing winter in Minnesota. It all depends on context. But what's really interesting is how something as simple as drying clothes can turn into a quiet cultural signal. How marketing, lifestyle, and neighborhood rules can slowly shape what feels normal until people stop questioning it at all. And that's the part most people never really think about, why certain habits feel natural, even when there was a time they were never a rule at all. Next time you load up your dryer, take a second to think about how normal that moment actually became. Because behind it is a long chain of changes: the post-war boom, the rise of the appliance industry, suburban planning, HOA rules, and the way modern living got defined in a very specific moment in time, then quietly turned into habits most people never question. That means something simple in your laundry room carries more history than it seems at first glance. Now I'm curious, do you live in a place with HOA rules? Have you ever been told not to hang clothes outside? Or are you watching from somewhere like Mexico or Europe where this feels completely normal? Drop your thoughts in the comments, I read them. And if you enjoyed this, consider subscribing.